Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. During this last week, we dealt with a significant snowstorm across the center part of the country. We've seen some heavy precipitation across the central plains as we moved into Nebraska. Of course, it turned into snow, and we had anywhere from 12 inches to upwards of 18 inches in central Nebraska. Some of the totals dropped off into the 12 to 15 inch range as you got into northeast Nebraska. And as you push into eastern Nebraska, the snowfall totals dropped off rather dramatically. From Lincoln, where we received 7 to 8 inches around the city, to Beatrice, a drop-off of nearly 7 inches, barely any snow to cover the ground in Beatrice, so a very sharp delineation. Very juicy atmosphere with this snowfall, heavy wet snow. Many locations received well over a month's worth of precipitation in central Nebraska, pushing 2 months worth of precipitation in a single event. So the wet pattern continues with these major snow events. Fortunately, as we go through this next 7-day period, it does not appear to be any significant weather makers on the radar for the central plains. Yes, we might see a cold front move through with a light snowfall, but big heavy precipitation events do not look to be in the cards, at least for the next 10 days. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store. First thing I'll draw your attention to is a little wave that moved through over the last 24 hours, is now all the way down in the southeastern United States. Our attention is turning to the wave that is pushing through the state right now and is expected to clear the state as we go through the overnight hours, bringing the chance of snowfall to northern Nebraska and northwestern Nebraska. Lighter amounts as you head toward the south and the east. I think the best accumulation is probably going to be north central Nebraska with 1 to 2 inches. And as we get into tomorrow, we are looking at a big flux of cold air moving down the pipeline. Thankfully, we don't have a big surprise in terms of very strong Arctic air coming down. That looks like it's going to shift toward our east. So the coldest temperatures will be confined to the eastern half of the state. We'll see much warmer temperatures around the western half of the state. We will have to deal with cloud cover with this jet streak coming down over our region and a few flurries, but overall, once again, no major accumulation expected. Now, as we get into Monday, this trough really strengthens over the eastern United States, bringing in some significant Arctic air from the Great Lakes southward into the lower Mississippi River Valley. To the west, we have a big ridge building over the western United States, and that will try to push its way into the western half of the state during the midweek period, bringing in some well above normal temperatures, at least to the western half of the state. So by the time we get to Tuesday, the system starts to move its way off the eastern seaboard. The ridge starts to build back in, so we're going to have a fairly nice day with temperatures well into the 40s across the west, and we're approaching the mid-30s here across eastern Nebraska. As we get into Wednesday, the ridge starts to push a little bit farther toward the northeast. This probably will be our warmest day of this period as we start to see another system moving down the pipeline as we get in Thursday, and here comes that system starting to make its way into the northern plains. That'll start to push some of this ridge back toward the southwest, cooling our temperatures ever so slightly. And as we get into Friday, here comes our next weather waker for next weekend, expected to slip through the state rather rapidly, once again forming a significant trough in the eastern United States and leaving us with a ridge on this back side of it that will build in and warm us up in the following week. So as we look at the 8 to 14 forecast from next Thursday to the following Tuesday, we can see the warmth starting to build into the central plains. And in terms of precipitation, once again, drier conditions to our south, and most of the moisture stays over the Great Lakes.